All right, we are live, and we'll be starting here in just a couple minutes. All right, we're going to get started here in just a couple of minutes. We got a couple people that are going to be jumping on here anytime. So we'll wait till everybody gets here. If you do have any questions, you can click on the Q&A. You do have to be signed into Google to Gmail to do the Q&A. So just so you know that. So if you do have some questions, we can fill those questions as we go through the webinar here when we get started, which will be in just a couple of minutes. All right, we're going to go ahead and get rolling here. I'm Peter Brissett. My company is DMD Consulting. I'm known as the Digital Marketing Dude. Welcome to this webinar. My skin looks really red because of this camera. I'm honestly not all sunburned, but yeah. So we're going to be talking about online reviews, specifically negative online reviews, and how that impacts your business. And we're particularly looking at local businesses and how it affects search and how it affects the way customers make decisions about doing business with you or not. We are going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen with you guys. And that looks pretty cool. So yeah, sorry. You don't want to see that. Okay, we're going to start from the beginning here on our presentation on the slides. There we go. All right. Now you don't have to look at my scary red face anymore. So we're going to be talking about overcoming negative online reviews. Now, if you visit my website, dmdude.com, you can look at my bio and hear all the things about me. I'm privileged to do a lot of really cool things in business, and marketing and working with clients. And I feel very honored to have done that. But in regards to this particular topic, why should you listen to me? In 2010, December actually 2010, I first published my special report, Overcoming Negative Online Reviews. And I've updated that a few times now. I'm actually revising it again because things continue to change in this space. So that really talks about this whole issue and how that works, how online reviews work, and why you should care, which we're going to talk about in this webinar as well. And then for local clients, we've been managing local listings, directory sites, review sites, and reviews for Local 9, and seeing some of the things that were going on then and what was happening kind of prompted that report that I wrote in 2010. I've also been a featured contributor in an article that has come out this month in InPaint magazine, and here in June 2014, when you're watching this, that again they kind of went to me as a resource in that article. So I've got a little bit of history and a little bit of knowledge in this space, and just want to share some of that with you here today. This is not a sales pitch. If you do have questions, just type them in the chat there. Be happy to answer any questions that you have in regards to reviews, whether it's a general question or you have questions specifically about your business. We're happy to address those questions with you. So let's get right into this. So the first thing I want to talk about is, where are reviews being collected? And if you have a business, you probably know this already. Sites like Yelp, Foursquare, Merchant Circle, Google Places is a pretty common place where reviews are being collected. Angie's List is a little bit different. So where most of these sites are kind of sites that are out there that users can sign in with, like a Facebook account or Google account. Angie's List, the users there have to actually pay to subscribe, and businesses are reviewed on Angie's List. Angie's List is kind of like every business on Angie's List lives and dies by their reviews. So everybody's shopping for, some type of contractor for, doing work around their house, a plumber or whatever it is, landscaper, and if you don't have good reviews on that site, nobody's going to call you. So the vendors, the contractors and companies that are on Angie's List work very, very hard to keep their reviews very high. There's many more sites. There's several hundred, in fact, and depending on the niche, there might be something specific. There's specific sites in the legal industry, medical industry, for assisted living, senior care, communities, real estate sites like Zillow.com, restaurant sites. You have Zagat, which is a review system, which Google is connected with as well. Travel sites like TripAdvisor.com, auto sites, just all kinds of different niche-specific sites that you probably have listings on that you may or may not even know about. And so it's very important that you know what they are, and we'll talk more about that as we go through this. How do you get on those sites? That's a great question. I'm glad that you asked that question. If you have a business with a phone number and address, that typically is how most people get on those sites. So as soon as you have a phone number with the phone company and they give you a listing in the phone book, these sites, that information goes to sites called aggregators, which collect that information, and then they push it out to all these various different sites. And we'll talk about the significance of that and some of the challenges and problems and things you need to do to address that. But many times that's how you get there. Of course, you can always add yourself to a lot of these sites if you're not there already, either through a manual process. Some sites you have to have some type of automated process in order to wind up on those sites. One thing I want to mention real quick too as we go through this, we want to talk about public versus private reviews. So public review we would refer to as a review that's on any website besides your own. So on Yelp or Foursquare, Zillow.com, wherever it is, that review is on a different website. A private review, we would say, is a review that's on your own website. So if you want, you should be collecting both reviews that go directly to your website and reviews that get posted out on other websites. And we'll talk about more about that and significance of those factors, but I wanted to bring that up early on here so we have a basis of understanding. All right, time to test your knowledge. Let's find out what you guys. So give me your guesses here. What is the percentage of consumers that use online reviews? So consumers who are looking online, looking at reviews, what's the percentage that actually use reviews of all the people that do that? 50%, 60%. Okay, how about 86% of consumers that are using online reviews? Next question, percentage of consumers that trust online reviews. What would you say that is? Probably 50 or 60, maybe 70%. Yeah, okay. So how about 79% trust online reviews? It's pretty high. It's actually up about 5 or 7 points here over the last few years. So it's actually increasing in trust factor based on the surveys and research that's been done. Now, tell me this: what's the percentage of consumers that use traditional yellow pages? Percentage of consumers that use traditional yellow pages: 10%, 30%. How about this? How about 2% that are still using traditional yellow pages? Now, for some companies, that might be a considerable amount of business. I'm not sure, but definitely not being used that much anymore. So the real question comes down to, where should you spend your money on marketing? You can spend it a lot of places, right? You could spend it on radio ads, magazine, mobile marketing, newsletters, video ads, on some special websites, whatever it might be. But the real most important thing is to spend your money in places that consumers trust most, right? You want people to see and interact with your business, your marketing, whatever that might be, and establish that trust as quickly as possible so you can move them from a suspect to a prospect to a lead to eventually a paying customer. So where is that at? Where do people trust advertising? So I find this very interesting. So this is a report from Nielsen Global Trust. They did a report on advertising and brand messaging. This is from 2012. And this is what they found. I find it very interesting. So if you look at the very bottom of this, you have text ads on mobile phones, which is only a 29% trust factor. So 71% don't trust text ads on their mobile phone, which I find absolutely amazing. I'm so surprised that is such a low number, to be honest with you. And then the number one thing that people trust really isn't advertising. It's recommendations from people that they know. So that makes sense, right? Who do you trust? Someone I know has done business with another company and they had a good experience. I typically believe what they say and I trust what they're talking about. And so that's what I'm going to go with. But guess what? The number two out of all these other options, ads and magazines, TV, and all that, the number two is consumer opinions posted online. I think that's very significant and something that you really need to definitely pay attention to. In regards to your how people are interacting with your online advertising. So something to really think about. Now, let's talk about the 5-star rating system. So everything on almost all these sites is based on 5 stars, right? 5 stars being great, 1 star being really bad. And this is another research study done by Pepperdine University, and it relates to the likelihood that a customer would initiate business with the vendor based on how many star reviews that they had. So in the 5-star review range, the people that will interact and actually do something is about that kind of makes sense, right? You got 5-star reviews. People are going to most likely engage with that. Makes sense. At 4 stars, it's 80%. So still pretty good. You know, not much of a drop off from 5 stars to 4 stars. So I think that's pretty impressive. But look what happens when you get to 3 stars. That significantly drops to only 14%. At 2%, at 2 stars, it's 1%. At 1 star, yeah, nothing's happening. Get this: if you got no ratings at all, then it's at 2%. So if you say, hey, I'm going to stay out of this game, and I'm not going to worry about either having ratings or having low ratings, guess what? Only 3% of potential new customers will categorize themselves likely to try a business with 0, 1, or 2 stars. That, again, is a significant factor. Now, we're just going to kind of glance over this slide because there's a lot of information here, and this really talks about all the different factors that affect the local search ranking of really your website. So when someone's searching for a business, a restaurant, a plumber, a AC repair guy, whatever it is, and they're searching a specific area, there's a lot of factors that affect who's going to come up. And these are some of those factors. I'm not even going to talk about them. In the next slide, we kind of get a little bit more information on these. But in a couple slides here, we're going to kind of focus on the 6 main key factors that you need to know. But here there's 4 different factors that affect the ranking of your website. So this first side is kind of the foundational, most basic things, and then those things that make a competitive difference. So in more competitive type markets, in order to get the ranking, then you definitely need to be doing these additional things. Everything that's highlighted in a yellow here are things related to the reviews that you're getting. And we're going to highlight kind of the 6 key areas that all of that encompasses and why reviews are so important as in a piece of that. So here's the simplified version of impact on SEO. So 6 areas: consistency, breadth, recency, quality, balance, and quantity. I know it says recent. I use the word recency. It's not a word, but I use it. All right. Consistency. So consistency relates to primarily the accuracy of each listing that you have across these different various websites. So what is the name of your company? What is the address of your company? The phone number, the website. There's other additional information, but typically the name, address, phone number are the most important key factors that need to be consistent across all those websites. So this can get very confusing if you have multiple locations or if the original listing that you had with the phone company, whoever typed that information up made a mistake. So now there's incorrect information that's been pushed out all over the place. And so all of these can be corrected and so that there's consistency throughout them. But it's definitely very key and important. The next category is breadth. So breadth really is the number of different websites that this is on. Whoops. Let's go back to that previous site. So here you kind of see they're looking up Pizza Nosh reviews. You can see there's 3 or 4 different websites that have reviews for that business. And then over here on the other side, there's listings, but only a couple of sites have actual reviews. So, it would be much better. Actually, so they have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 sites that have reviews. The rest of the sites don't. Be a lot better if they had more sites with reviews. So you want to have reviews on as many sites as possible. Again, this is kind of an example. Business A's got 50 reviews on Google+. Nice, but your better option and search engine optimization is going to be Business B here, because they've got at least 7 reviews across multiple sites. So 7 is really kind of that magic number, that minimum number of reviews that you want to have on any given site. Another factor, of course, is quantity. How many reviews there are across these various websites. As you can see here, we've got 17 reviews versus 3 reviews for a coffee and bakery shop. So 17 reviews, definitely going to impress a customer. Only 3 reviews is not necessarily a bad thing, but sometimes you can see a business with just a few reviews and they're all really stellar and wonderful and maybe worded kind of strangely, and they seem so once you get into 17, 18, 20 reviews, that definitely becomes a much more trustworthy in general for the reviews to be believable. Again, here's an example that we see where these coffee shops appear in different order in the rankings. So in this first one, they've got an overall rating of 4.5, 4.5 stars, and 232 reviews. And you can see here that this one has an overall rating of 4, but 1,000 reviews. So way more reviews, but their overall rating's less. So it looks like Google's giving favor to the one that has a little bit higher rating, but they have a pretty good number of reviews. Then down here in these primary 7 local search category here, so you've got 171 reviews versus only 10. So in this case, we're seeing the total number of reviews definitely winning out in that case. So again, it's not necessarily 100% that way, but oftentimes it is. Quantity becomes a factor too when we look at particularly restaurants with Google's carousel. You can kind of see that typically sites with more reviews are going to show up in these first few carousel options, and lower number of reviews will show up as you go through there. Okay, recency. So here we have a case of 2 dentists. One with 6 reviews, one with 4 reviews. One with 4 reviews has 2 reviews in the last month, while the one with 6 reviews has reviews that are at least a year old. So definitely, just in terms of an individual's mind, the more recent reviews are going to carry a lot more weight if you're making a choice, but it definitely impacts the overall search engine ranking as well. All right, balance. So balance is in reference to the overall reviews scores, your overall rating. So here's a site that's got 49 reviews, and they're all 5-star, which is great, but it seems a little bit suspicious maybe that you would have that many 5-star reviews, that you wouldn't have anybody that was less than that. So silence becomes very important to really make it believable. So do you believe the one with 23 reviews that's got positive and negative, or do you believe the one that's 49 reviews and they're all 5-star? So, and you can have to read through them maybe and kind of get it. You can see these guys are writing like a thesis on the review. Anyway, something to think about. All right, the quality of the review. So when we talk about the quality of the review, we're talking about the type of keywords related to your business that are in the review itself that someone gives you. So usually this is where you can see the fake reviews because people are stuffing a bunch of keywords and it doesn't really make any sense. And you're like, well, that's not really a review. That's just a bunch of keywords. But one of the things that you need to do and work with your staff and training them on teaching your customers how to give you a review and what types of things they should be saying about you in the review to really make it worthwhile. So that's kind of the summary. Quantity is, at least 7 reviews on each review site based on the studies. Google's not going to give you an overall review or an overall rating until you have at least 5 reviews. And definitely the more reviews you have can affect the searches on those various sites. And you want to make sure that the more you have, then fake reviews are not going to have really a positive or negative impact on you. Balance, you want to have a balance of ratings, consistency in your listings. The name, address, and phone number should be the same across all your review sites and the directory sites. The breadth, again, this is reviews on multiple sites. Recency, are you consistently getting new reviews every single month, which you definitely should be doing. And then the quality, what's the actual content in the review? Is it very keyword specific and really talking about your business and helping you out in that regard as well? So this is an interesting study done by Harvard Business, and what they show us that a 1-star rating increase will lead to a 5 to 9% increase in revenue. The Woodbury University School of Business did a similar survey, and they asked business owners how many would expect to have some type of increase in revenue, either 1% to 5%. So 79% said it would be 1%, 65% said that it would at least be a 5% increase in revenue to go from a 3.5 to 4.5 star rating. So definitely a big difference and affects the bottom line, your actual reviews that you have. All right, so maybe you get it now, right? Online reviews are critically important. They're everywhere, all over the place, right? And they can help you grow your business, absolutely. So why do you need a plan for how to manage reviews? So if you have no plan right now and you have no system in place for making sure this is happening on a consistent basis, here's one of the big reasons why you need to have this. It's for that angry customer. So when you have that angry customer, they are going to vent. If you have a system in place that's already working and you're already actively capturing reviews, you basically are giving people a place to be able to vent before they get out to Google Plus or to Yelp or wherever it might be to leave a review. Happy customers typically are more passive, so if you're not actively engaging them and asking them for reviews, then they're not going to give them necessarily. But angry customers are going to vent. Now, here's kind of the good news within the bad. That typically, if somebody's mad, they're going to vent one time, which means they're probably only going to vent on one website. Again, if you're following this plan and you're capturing positive reviews across many different websites, one bad review is not going to crush you. But Obviously, if you're getting multiple views, then that's something that needs to definitely be addressed. But typically, for the most part, people are only going to vent one time. So that's the good within the bad. All right, let's talk about 7 things you can do to do this on your own and to be able to consistently be capturing reviews and to make your online reviews really work for your business and help you grow your business. So first of all, you want to have a reviews page on your website. So you want to have a page where you have testimonials and reviews about your business, that you are displaying those and capturing new ones and having them posted on there. So you may have links on that page to some of the other sites. You might say, hey, thanks for leaving us a review here. Why don't you go over to Google Plus and leave us a review there as well, or over to Yelp and leave a review on Yelp for us as well. So you definitely want to have a page on your site that's totally, completely dedicated to this. The other thing you want to do is have a custom web address that you use as a redirect. So the difference between this and kind of what I just showed you as a page, right? That page has a link to it on your website and has a page name. This particular web address could be yourdomain.com, so that's whatever your website is /reviews. And you change where you send this to. So let's say you want to collect them on your own website. Then when people follow this link, it goes to your website. But maybe next month you want people to go to Google Plus to leave you a review. So you just change where that redirects. So if you have a web guy, they can easily set that up and change that for you and do that. So that way you're kind of sending out reviews to go out to multiple different websites. The next thing you want to do, hang on here, I think somebody has a question. Okay, no, they do not. All right. The next thing you definitely want to do is put that link everywhere. So you need to put that in your emails that you send out. You can put it on your signage in your store, your location. You can put that on your business card. You definitely want to be putting that everywhere you possibly can. I'm going to take a drink here. You can even set up a QR code, quick response code, that people can scan, and then they can use their mobile phones to leave you a review. So that's definitely an important piece of that. You want to make sure it's mobile ready so people can use their mobile device as well. You want to add a badge to your website. You can add this as a custom tab on your Facebook page as well, and ask people to leave you a review, and yeah, you want to actively have this out there so people can see it and they're going to be able to leave you a review easily. Scripting and training. All right, this guy's excited. He's telling everybody about your business and how great it is. So you definitely want to develop any kind of scripting. So if you have people that are going to be talking to people, then you want to go through some scenarios of what you do. So you've taken care of a customer. At the end of the call, what do you want to do? You know, you definitely want to ask them to leave a review. You can give them instructions how to do that. So go to our website or go to this link, whatever it is, to leave them a review about how we're doing, and follow that up with an email. When you're dealing with face-to-face with customers, making sure you're asking them, have a card or a postcard, something that you can give them that says, hey, let us know how we're doing. Go here and leave us a review. So train your staff, work on scripting, work it out, talk about it so you know what you're going to do. The next thing is you want to monitor monitor, collect, and add that you have out there. Start collecting more that you can add to your website, of course. And then follow up with an email to anybody that leaves you a review, especially for your website. And say, hey, here's some other websites where you can leave us a review as well. So you want to try to get the most out of that. So if somebody's happy, they've said, hey, you guys did a great job, and I just wanted to let you know, and here's what I think. Take that opportunity to say, oh, hey, can you go ahead and say that again for us, just on Google Plus over here, or this website over here. So most people will do that when you ask them to do that. Then number 7, share those reviews. So leverage social media by sharing those reviews on your social site. Say, hey, post it on Facebook. This is what so-and-so said about us today. And, Google reviews and Twitter, whatever it might be. Share those reviews. Don't be afraid to use that social proof and that trust building of what people are saying about your business and how you're doing for them to get other people's attention as well. So the deal is, obviously, it takes time and effort unless you have some help. And of course, this is something that we help businesses with. And if you do need help with that, we would love to talk to you, find out about your situation. But the real answer is having an automated system, right, where reviews are going to be managed, where you can monitor, be alerted with any problems, collect, follow up, track, all that type of stuff. And that type of service is of tremendous value to your business. So how can we help you? We can look at your business reviews, and we can show you how our tool works and what we do for you as well, to make sure that you're going to get the most out of your reviews and these directory listing sites and all of that. Again, there's no pressure on our end. It's just a conversation. Appreciate everybody that's been on the webinar today and taking your time out to review this with us. So really the next step is, we'd love to learn more about your situation. If you have negative online reviews, how bad is it? Is it something you want to change around and do something differently? So maybe there's something we can do to help you out. Just get in touch with us. Email us, support@dmd.com. You can visit our website, dmd.com. You can download my report there on overcoming negative online reviews. Again, it's in the 3rd revision, still on the website. I'm working on the 4th. So if you sign up for the current one there, as soon as the 4th one's ready, we'll send that one out to you as well. Or just give us a call. We're here in Denver, Colorado, and happy to service customers or clients anywhere across the country. We work with businesses of all different sizes and types, and really just would love to hear from you about your situation and see if there's something maybe we can help you out with. Again, thank you for joining us. Good to have everybody on the webinar today, and we wish you all the best of success and joy in life.